the Greater Good Science Center presents Half Full, Social Science for Raising Happy Kids, a discussion series between Dr. Christine Carter and Kelly Corrigan.
I saw an interesting thing at the pool the other day with Georgia. We were with another family, and these folks happen to have a pool, and so their 2-year-old is a better swimmer than Georgia is at 6. And Georgia, who's been told for years that she's a good swimmer, got a little upset. And then the minute she started sort of exhibiting this, all the parents instantly dove in and said, "Oh, you're a good swimmer, you're a good swimmer, good swimmer."
Oh, isn't that so interesting, though, that our impulse is to really protect them from failure and protect them from feeling bad?
I was secretly a little happy because I thought, you know what, Georgia? You don't work I am always trying to encourage you to practice things and do more jumps in the pool with me and stuff. And she doesn't want to do it. And so I was sort of glad to see her making the connection in her own mind, like, oh, I see. Had I been swimming more with my mother, perhaps I wouldn't be feeling these feelings right now.
Practicing, yeah. So very often, I think mediocre performance is it's a nice, clear sign that either more practice is needed, or we need to switch strategies, or we need to get help from somebody.
Right.
And what you really want is her to focus on being a good swimmer and becoming that good swimmer, if that's what she wants, rather than just being labeled, going after the praise,
Right.
being labeled a good swimmer. There's a big difference between those two things, and that big difference, like we've talked about before, is that growth mindset, that emphasis on effort and practice and hard work.
So this is why we should really be leery about running our kids' homework down to school, or their forgotten backpack, or staying up until midnight with their science project.
Right.
Like sort of taking the hands off the wheel a little bit and letting them fail if that's what's going to happen.
Right, because you really learn a lot when you fail. When you make mistakes, that's an incredibly great growth opportunity for them. And so you don't want them to have a life void of failure. You don't want them to think that they're going to be successful because of something that you as the parent does, or as what other people say. You want them to learn that they will be successful based on their own doing, their own effort, that they're not really entitled to success unless they earn it. And I have to keep coming back to this again and again, that this is really about how much they enjoy the process. This website is about how to help our kids lead happy lives. And so even though this failure thing is a great way to change your strategy so you can be more successful, it's also about learning to really enjoy challenge.
I mean, I think that teaching your kids to be sort of psychically comfortable with failure and messiness and, kind of the exhaustion of effort is a huge favor.
Right.
I mean, I'm making mistakes all the time.
Right.
And in fact, I'm always trying to point out to them, like, oh, I took the wrong turn again, or oh, I should have worked harder on that column. I don't like the way it reads now that I'm looking at it on Friday.
Right. So I'm gonna work a little harder on it, and we can do this in our everyday conversations with our kids. We can ask them about challenges they've had, about mistakes they made, and what they learned from them. We can talk about skills that we have today that we didn't have yesterday, but we sure have been practicing.
Right.
And ask them the same thing. So. What we're going to do is protect our kids from a life void of failure. We're going to encourage them to make mistakes so that they can learn a lot and learn to love, to enjoy the process.
Join us next time on Half Full, Science for Raising Happy Kids, when we discuss how to foster gratitude and why this skill is vital for happiness.